Hey, I'm Debriella Nieves, and I'm a voice actor. One of the biggest myths about voiceover is that all you have to do is have a nice sounding voice, okay, which is really relative, right? Because there's a lot of people that do voiceover that I don't like their voice, but it's very subjective. A nice sounding voice, number one. Number two, be able to read. And number three, be able to record yourself on a microphone, any microphone. And it's wrong, wrong, wrong. Voiceover is not just for people whose voice sounds nice. A lot of people have complimented me on my voice, and many of my colleagues have gotten the same compliments, but I personally don't enjoy hearing everyone that does voiceovers. For example, you think about audiobooks. I don't know how many of you have ever listened to an audiobook for even 5 minutes, but if you have, then you know that they're all different. And it doesn't matter if a celebrity is reading it or a voice actor or whoever. There are just some voices that you just don't want to listen to for hours. And most audiobooks are at least 4 hours long. So who wants to listen to a not nice sounding voice for that many hours? I know I don't. So that myth, boom, right there. You don't have to have a nice voice in order to do voiceover. The second reason that this myth is wrong, being able to read. Well, you can be able to read and comprehend things, but if you cannot read aloud and understand how to honor or dishonor punctuation that is written by copywriters and scripts, that's going to be a big disadvantage to you as well. Some people can read really well for short periods, like taking like a little pamphlet and just reading a couple of paragraphs. And some people maybe don't do so well with longer things. It depends on what kind of voiceover you want to do. Do you want to do commercials that last about 15 to 30 seconds, maybe a minute long? Or do you want to read audiobooks? Do you want to do e-learning? Do you want to do things that are long form, narration, documentaries? So the whole thing about being able to read and being able to read aloud is really, really critical. There's also times where you have to be able to read things that are just given to you, moments beforehand. The ideal thing is to get a voiceover script well in advance and be able to practice it, be familiar with the copy. But there are times where you have to do something called a cold read, where you just get something and in less than an hour, you're going to have to go, well, actually, not even less than an hour. An hour is generous for a cold read. So there's that. And then the third piece of what I was talking about, recording yourself on a microphone. When you do voiceovers, just like with podcasting, you have to get really, really comfortable with technology. If you are the kind of person that really doesn't like dealing with software, doesn't really like to learn new things, doesn't really care for tech, then either A, you're not going to be able to do voiceover, or B, you're going to have to spend a lot of your coin that you earn on people that know how to do that stuff. And that's totally okay. It's totally okay to outsource people to edit for you, but when you're just starting out, how much money are you really making to be able to do that? To this day, 4 years in with podcasting, I still do all of my own podcast editing, all of my audio and post, because I don't make money from podcasting. I make money in voiceovers, but I don't make any money with my podcast. My podcast is a labor of love. It's for empowering women. It's something that I do, and it's an extension of me when I became a life coach, an extension of that. So I personally don't have sponsors and things like that. At least not at this time of making this video, I don't. So you have to factor that all in. And recording yourself on a microphone also, what kind of microphone are you using? Podcasting and voiceovers have different requirements for microphones. So the microphone that I use to do voiceover is fine for me to use for podcasting. But not every microphone, like a minimum tech requirement for a podcast microphone, may not be up to snuff when it comes to voiceover. See what I'm saying? You can absolutely download a resource guide that I created maybe about a year ago, almost a year ago, about how to get into voiceover. Just a resource guide, not all the different steps, but lots of blogs, books, different things that I have collected, podcasts that give you a lot of free information that you can use to kind of get yourself acclimated to what this industry is all about. So you can go to that website at bit.ly/Doree voiceover resource. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll be able to get that resource, and see you in the next video.